On the very day of my French placement exam in college, there was a student from France who told me that my accent in French was really crappy. It hurt. But you know what's even worse? It's when we say negative things about ourselves and to ourselves. Negative thoughts hold us back. In this lesson, we're going to identify some limiting beliefs. And I'll teach you how to replace them with empowering thoughts to help you on your way to confident, effective English. Do you ever say negative things to yourself, aloud or in your head, like, "You forgot that word again? You should know it by now." Or, "What a stupid mistake." These kinds of statements do not help. They hurt. The more negative things you say, the more familiar they become. And when you keep reinforcing thoughts by thinking them over and over again, they become limiting beliefs. I'm not the first to say that. I'm not a psychologist, I'm not a life coach, but I'm a language teacher of nearly 30 years, and I'm also a language learner, so I can share my experience and my observations. English is my native language. I also speak Russian. I'm studying Spanish, and I have familiarity with a couple of other languages. I had become fairly fluent in Russian when I was living in Moscow because I was using it a lot. Then when I returned home to the US, I began to lose that fluency because I was using my Russian less and less. It got to the point where I felt so awkward. Other things in life were challenging me, and I let negative thoughts take hold in my mind. I was thinking things like, "You can't speak Russian anymore. You were never that good. There are others who are so much better than you. Give it up." My lack of confidence created an unhappy experience. I don't want that for you. That's why I like to wish students happy studies. I'm in a much better place in life now, and I don't let myself think too negatively, at least not for too long. When I catch myself using negative self-talk, I stop, and then I consciously work to be more positive. Here's what you need to do. Replace limiting beliefs with empowering thoughts. I'll give you 5 examples. 1, the old self says, "I'm so stupid." No, start saying, "I'm smart and capable." You are. Of course you are. You're here learning with me. Here's the second old thought. "I'm so bad at English. My vocabulary isn't good." New thought. "I'm learning. I continue to build my vocabulary." And guess what? You follow up with action. Read and listen to English regularly. Take notes. Review your notes. Here's the third limiting belief. "I'm bad at grammar. My grammar isn't strong." Empowering thought. "I study and practice grammar. My English is becoming more accurate." Again, follow up with action. When's the last time you watched one of my grammar videos? Here's a 4th example of negative self-talk. "I'm too old to learn English." New thought. "I can learn at any age." And you can. Believe that you can. Your mind is flexible. We humans can grow and expand. Plants need water and sunshine. As learners, we need input, practice, and feedback. Limiting belief number 5, "I'll never be fluent." Empowering thought. "My fluency is growing." And take action to support that belief. Use your English every day in some meaningful way, big or small. Now here's something you need to know. Limiting beliefs don't just come from within. You hear all kinds of voices out there, and some messages may not be serving you well. Let me share 3 ideas you may have heard and accepted as fact. Myth number 1, you need to sound like a native speaker to be fluent. Truth? You can sound clear and natural without completely losing your foreign accent. The goal is to be understood. Plenty of non-native speakers have had great success in English, and yes, we can still hear the influence of their first language on English. It really doesn't matter. My own father spoke English as a second language. People heard the influence of Tagalog on his English. I heard it, my brothers heard it. My father built a career, a family, and a life, all through English here in the United States. Maybe you tell yourself, my accent is bad. That's more negative self-talk. What's the reality? Do people sometimes have trouble understanding you? If you're having pronunciation problems, face them and fix them. There are resources. Have you downloaded my free pronunciation toolkit? Have you worked with my oral reading fluency videos? Or level up and join my English with Jennifer community on Patreon. But as you continue to work on accent reduction, don't believe that you have to sound exactly like someone else to be fluent. The truth is that many native speakers are not good models for you in terms of clarity, not to mention vocabulary and grammar. Here's another myth. You have to live in an English-speaking country in order to become fluent. Truth? It helps to be immersed in the language, but immersion is something you can create no matter where you are. Maybe you're telling yourself, I can't be fluent in English because I'm not in America. I'm not in Canada or Australia, the UK, or wherever. That's a limiting belief. I've met people with very strong proficiency in English, and they've never been to an English-speaking country. They made a strong effort to use the resources available to create an immersive experience. They read. They write. They listen to English. And they find opportunities to speak online. And a final myth, you can become fluent really fast. Well, it depends. What do you mean fast? 30 days? No. Truth? There are different definitions of fluency. You can become conversational quite fast, in a matter of months, but very strong proficiency depends on a number of factors. I believe that a strong communicator can speak and write well, so my advice is always to practice all skills. The best of the best never stop learning. I have some very advanced private students, and they've been studying for years. They're already fluent by some people's definitions, but they realize that greater fluency is always possible. Don't create anxiety over speed. Don't pressure yourself to learn fast and speak fast. Language learning is a journey. It takes time. Enjoy it. Please remember that everyone's journey is going to be different. Don't compare yourself to others. Those kinds of comparisons don't help. If you want to make a comparison, ask yourself if you're better today than yesterday. Did you learn something new? Can you see your progress over the past month or year? I invite you to listen to a few other teachers who address common myths about learning English. If I haven't convinced you yet, maybe they will. Watch our video. Here's the bottom line. If you're going to be successful in English, you need to have a healthy learner mindset. 1. Control negative self-talk. Replace limiting beliefs with empowering thoughts. 2. Recognize that there are some false truths out there. Shatter myths about fluency. 3. Keep your studies positive. I kind of tricked you with the title and thumbnail for this video. I did that for a reason. How often do you see English language videos telling you not to say this, not to say that, don't do this, don't do that, or you're making a big mistake? Some of those lessons behind the shocking thumbnails are helpful. They are. The lessons actually help. I get it. The thumbnail's interesting. You click, you learn. Good. But other times, the messages are not serving you well. They create anxiety, worry, and stress. Those are bad feelings, negative feelings. And when you feel bad, you cannot learn well. Please avoid negative talk and negative messaging. Look for the positive. To help you keep it positive, follow me on social media and look out for my affirmations. I post them regularly. There's a whole collection of positive affirmations on my English with Jennifer community on Patreon. Here on YouTube, please use my morning and evening affirmation videos to build a healthy learner mindset. Share these affirmations with others. Spread the joy of learning a language. That's all for now. Thanks for watching and happy studies.